Today is our last lesson on inequalities. Take the earbuds out, please.
Okay.
Thank you. Okay, I need everybody on the Pear Deck.
Annoying. I'm also gonna do it on paper.
That's fine. If you're more comfortable doing it on paper.
Oh, but Miss Laird, the Pear Deck really saved my butt last night because so it was for the Unit 6 lesson 11, I was missing it, and I couldn't find the video on YouTube. And I couldn't find like
Mr. Morgan. It wasn't attached to your...
No, and then I was freaking out because,
Yeah.
I would have to do it all by myself, and then I realized, oh yeah, I did it on Pear Deck, and Miss Laird sent me the thingy, so.
Yay, something worked.
Oh, okay, so.
What's your question, Chloe?
Did the SchoolNet ever start
Yes.
working? Because I kept trying it yesterday.
Yes,
But it worked.
it came up this morning. So whenever
Okay.
whenever you can get it done is fine.
Okay.
I'm
Thank
not
you.
I'm not gonna stress if it takes you till next Friday to get it done. All right.
Wait, we could make it work?
That CPA 12 that wouldn't come up yesterday because
Okay.
SchoolNet was down. You just need to sometime find time to do those 8 problems, okay? And I'm sorry
Okay.
that happened, but it was a state level thing. It wasn't just us, and it wasn't anything that I did for a change. Okay,
No.
so that happens sometimes. There was a problem with it syncing with Power School. I had absolutely no students in my classes, which is why you couldn't access anything because it was assigned to no one. Even though it was assigned to all the sections, SchoolNet and Power School weren't talking to each other as far as who people were and who their teachers were. So it wouldn't let you in.
It lost communication.
It lost communication and it was a mess. All right. So we're going to start out with a benchmark review question. Everybody in here? All right. This was number 31. What is the approximate area of that figure?
Oh, I remember this one.
All right, do it. Let me see what you come up with. Let me see your thinking. Okay. All right, I'm seeing some of you say, all right, we got a rectangle, and you're finding the area of that rectangle. I like all the colors that some of you are using. That's awesome. Visual is always helpful. Okay. So y'all jumped right in and got 98 feet squared for that rectangle. So now what are you gonna do? What's the other figure that you see?
Semicircles or a full circle?
All right, 2 semicircles. Are they the same?
Yes.
Are they congruent?
Yes.
So if they're congruent, then they make a whole circle, right? Okay. Do we remember the formula for area of a circle?
Yes.
All right. Apple pies are 2. Remember that? Cherry pie's delicious. Apple pies are 2.
That saying always helped me.
Hey, whatever works. I wish my teachers had told me sayings like that, because I probably would have remembered it too. All right, do we know the radius?
Yes. Oh, well,
Oh, I got a yes and I got a no.
we can find it out. We
You
don't
can
know
figure it out.
You can figure it out, okay. All right, just making sure. So we understand that that 7 is what on the circle? That's the diameter, good. KCESZT. You're welcome. good. We realized that we're going to add those two areas together. Way to go. Okay, you must not have been the ones that didn't know how to do this. You're part of the 40% that did know how to do it, huh? Great.
Yeah, I don't think I'm right. I think I did something wrong.
Alright, so it looks like I'm getting about, I got a couple of different answers. I got 136, about 136, and then I got about 120. Coop, what do you square? The 3.5 or the 3.14? Is that where you went wrong? Did you square the 3.14? Okay, you square the radius, which is 3.5, okay? And I can't find my piece of paper where I worked it out this morning. So you should get something about 136.
Yeah, that's the answer.
Yeah, I think it was a multiple choice and it was 136.5.
I got 127s, but because I rounded up.
Okay, technically it's 136.465-ish, or
Yeah.
did you use the pi key? You used pi button?
No, I didn't.
If you use 3.14, it ends up being 136.465.
Yeah, because I rounded up. So
Well, rounding up would be 136, because that .4 keeps it a 6.
1 to 6.
Yeah, but when you do that, you can only go one place. You can't keep going back.
For me, I got 136.465 and 9, and then I rounded up, and then I realized, it's asking for the, not for like a decimal point.
Right, when it says approximate, I mean, I'd probably accept 137, because that's approximately. All right, questions you have? It looks like you understand it. Josiah, did we get lost in it? Do you need some help?
Yes.
Okay. All right, you got the 98 in the middle. That's awesome. Okay, and you did that by doing 14 times 7. So you did 14 times 7 and you got 98. So that's the area inside the rectangle. Now, the two semicircles make a circle. On that circle, this line right here is 7 feet. Okay, area of a circle is pi r squared. So pi, we're going to use 3.14 because they asked for approximate. Now, do we know the radius or do we know the diameter?
The diameter.
Josiah, what do you think?
Oh, sorry.
That's what you.
The diameter.
So if we know the diameter is 7 and we know the radius is half of that, we know the radius is 3.5. So we're going to multiply 3.14 times 3.5 squared, which is going to give us 38.465. And we're going to call that approximately 38 feet squared. And then this was 98 feet squared. So we're going to take 98 plus 38. And that gives us 136.
Oh,
There's that lovely thing again.
that's 136.
Put my finger or my wrist down, it does that. 136 feet squared. Are we good, Josiah?
Yes,
I
ma'am.
see what
Awesome,
I
okay.
included the decimals instead of
Okay.
taking them away.
Okay, all right. Anybody else got questions?
So the radius do like times it by 2, right? Double, right?
No, you don't do it times 2. What does squaring mean?
Multiply by itself.
means time multiplied by itself.
By itself. So that would be 3.5 times 3.5 times 3.14. Okay? Great question. Thank you for sharing. If you thought it meant it was times 2, there probably was at least 2 other people that thought it was times 2. Okay? Squaring is not multiplying by 2, it's multiplying by itself.
Once.
Right. All right, let's move on. So our learning goal is let's look at solutions to inequalities. And then by the end of this lesson, you should be able to use what you know about inequalities to solve real world problems. So this was an activity called InfoGap. And what would have happened if we had done it, one person would get card 1, and they would read that. The other person would get card 2, the other card, the data card. And the person who has the problem card is actually going to solve it. And they have to ask the other person for data to be able to solve it. So I want everybody to read the problem card. Go ahead and read the problem card to yourself.
Is this the start of the practice problems?
No, this is the summary.
Okay.
Okay, read the problem card. So what is this story about?
Laundry.
Doing laundry at a laundromat, right? Okay, notice there's no numbers or anything there, right?
Correct.
Okay, now, what is X going to represent? What are they asking us to find?
How much laundry?
How
we
many
do.
loads?
Uh-huh. So X is going to be the number of loads. Okay, what do you think you need to know?
There's
What would you need to know to figure out how many loads of laundry you can do? Would you need to know how much money you have?
yeah.
Why would you need to know how much money you have?
So you know if you can afford
So
to
that way you know if you can afford it.
Yeah,
the daily cost.
yeah. So how much money does it say is on the card right now?
$50.
$50. Okay, what else might you need to know?
How much each load?
How much each load? Why do we need to know how much each load is?
So that you know how many loads you can do.
Okay, because you're gonna subtract that amount of money by every, okay. All right, so they tell us that it's $1.65 per load. So how do we represent $1.65 for an unknown amount of loads of laundry? What would we do to it? If I was doing 10 loads of laundry, how much would it cost me? $16.50. If I was doing 9 loads of laundry, how much would it cost me? What would I do?
Multiply by 9.
Multiply it by 9. If I was doing 20 loads, what would I do?
Multiply by 20.
If I'm doing X loads, what am I gonna do?
Multiply by X.
Okay, so I start out with $50. Am I adding to the card or am I subtracting when I do a load of laundry? I'm gonna subtract.
Could you change the color that you're writing in? It's kind of hard to see on there.
I don't know what color would be better than black. Maybe white?
Yeah,
Okay,
maybe.
let me try.
Yeah, it seems like it's better.
Oh,
Is
yeah,
that
that's way
better? Okay,
Yeah.
so we
thank you.
started out with 50, and we are going to take away, and you told me each load was $1.65. We don't know how many loads, so that's why it's $1.65x. Okay. They want to keep a minimum of balance on the card. How much do they want to keep on the card?
At least $15.
At least $15. So which inequality sign am I going to use?
The
Less than?
Okay,
To equal to?
just less than or less than or equal to?
Less than or equal to.
Mm-hmm. Okay, questions on that? All right, so when we solve this, are we going to get an answer where it's going to be greater than some number, or is it going to be less than some number?
Most likely less.
Wait, what? Are we talking? I'm sorry, what are you talking?
Well, let's go back to I don't think our equation's right. Do we want $15 or less on the card, or do we want $15 or more on the card?
$15.
Well, does that say $15 or more, or does that say $15 or less?
Oh, $15 or less.
This is saying we want less than $15 on there, right?
Yeah.
So is this correct? Nope.
No.
We need to go
And change the sign to.
the other way. We want at least $15. So do we want $10 on there or $20 on there? Which would be okay? 20 would be okay. So we want a number greater than 15. Okay, does that help you think about which sign to use?
Yeah.
Pick out a number on either side and see if it makes sense. Okay, can you take the earbuds out? Oh, they are out, they're just hanging, okay. All right, now, are we going to be able to do an infinite number of loads, or are we gonna be limited by the number of loads we're gonna do?
Limited by the number of loads.
Okay, we're gonna be limited. So does that mean our answer is going to be greater than something or less than something?
Less.
Less than.
Less than something. How did we go from greater than to less than? Because you told me my answer is going to be X is less than or equal to something. Why? Why did the sign get flipped? Because logically it makes sense. I can't do 100 loads of wash, okay, if I want to keep $15 on the card. So it makes sense it's going to be something less than something when we figure out what the something is. So why did the inequality signs flip?
It flipped because if you're multiplying by a negative number, it has to flip.
Where did the negative number come in?
Because to get rid of a negative, you have to make the negative sign a
Yep, see that right there?
positive sign and then add a negative
That subtraction is really
Addition.
adding a negative, right? So this becomes plus a negative. So now do we have a negative exponent? I mean a negative coefficient? Yes. Okay, that's why the sign flips. So let's solve it. First step is well, we just turned it into an addition problem. Let's turn it into an equation. So 50 plus negative 1.65 x equals 15. What's our next step?
To add 1 to subtract 50.
Why subtracting 50 and not adding 1.65 like you tried to do?
Because I realized that negative 1.65x is.
That's your variable term. Okay, good. All right, so we got rid of the constants on the left side. We're left with the variable term. On the right-hand side, we have negative 35. Now I want to solve for one positive x, so I'm going to divide both sides by negative 1.65. So I get x equals, so take out your calculators and do that for me. change it into a fraction because it doesn't terminate. You know how to do that on your calculators? There's a arrow key that's got an F or a D, one of the two. That'll change it into a fraction. So we get x equals 21 and 7/33. Okay. So if I was to graph this, I'm going to start, my boundary number is 21 and 7/33. It's going to be a closed circle, and we already determined it's going to be less than. So our x is less than or equal to 21 and 7/33. Did we answer the question they asked us? Go back to the question they asked us. What do we want to know?
No, we didn't. They want to know how many loads you can do before.
Okay. Can you do 7/33 of a load?
No, not logically.
Not logically. This is where the mathematical answer, which is this, which is graphed right there, doesn't match the real world answer.
No.
Can we do 22 loads of laundry?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
No, we
No.
can't.
Yeah.
Not at the same time.
Because that's not a whole load.
We don't have enough money to buy that extra load, do we?
No.
We have enough to buy 21 loads.
I thought you were saying like in real life, can you actually? do
Okay,
one
yeah,
either?
okay, gotcha. So our answer is going to be 0 to 21 loads is how many we can do. And it will only be the whole numbers, right? Does that make sense that it's only gonna be the whole numbers?
Correct number.
Would it make sense to have a negative? Because this shows me I can have negative numbers will make it true.
No, it wouldn't.
Okay, because it's loads of laundry.
Yeah.
All right? So do you see why, when I ask the next question, are you ready for me to go on?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Let me go on to the next one. Are inequalities sometimes more helpful than equations?
Yes. Sometimes.
Okay, because in the case that we just did, when we solved the equation, we got 21 and 7/33. So if that was just an equation, we'd say we can do 21 and 7/33 laundry. Is that true?
No.
No. We can do 21, we can do 20, we can do 19, we can do 18. So there's an infinite, well, there's not an infinite number, but there's a lot of numbers that would make it true. Okay?
But I mean, what if you do half the load?
Half a load, you're still gonna have to pay $1.65.
Oh, true.
Okay?
Just putting it out again.
Yeah.
It's kind of like the problem in these slides with how many boxes can you fit in the elevator. If you don't fill the box all the way up, is it still counting as a whole box? Yes. Okay? So it makes sense to fill it all the way up. All right, here we go with the practice problems now. 28 students travel on a field trip. They bring a van that can seat 12 students. Elena and Kieran's teacher ask parents to drive cars that seat 3 children each to transport the rest of the students. Elena wonders if she should use the inequality 12 plus 3n is greater than 28 or 12 plus 3n is greater than or equal to 28 to figure out how many cars are needed. Kieran doesn't think it matters in this case. Do you agree with Kieran or do you disagree? So you're going to write in agree or disagree. What's the difference between the two inequalities before we go any further?
One of them says greater than, and the other one says greater than.
First,
Okay.
The first one, the answer can't be 28.
Okay.
But the second one, it can be 28.
Okay.
It's equal to it.
So does it matter? Do you agree with Kieran it doesn't matter, or do you disagree that it does matter? So write in I agree or I disagree. right, I got a disagree. Just write it in, agree or disagree. And then we're gonna see.
Miss Laird, what lesson is it? 7?
This is 17. All right, kind of split half and half. All right, let's solve it and see what we get. So we're gonna change it into an equation. So the equation is 12 plus 3n equals 28. Any subtraction?
No.
Any parentheses?
No.
No.
Jeremiah, what it needs to move?
May I have your attention, please? 6th grade students, please make sure you have your charger and your brick for your iPad.
Somebody obviously left it in the library.
There were some left in the media center. Thank you.
Jeremiah, what needs to move? 12, 3n, or 28? What needs to move? Okay, if I move 3n to the other side, does that make it so that I have variables on one side and constants on the other? So what needs to move? Why? What does that end up leaving by itself on the left-hand side? Is that the variable term, 3n? I don't think we understand what I mean by variable term. Okay, there are 3 terms in this equation. This is a constant, a number. The variable term, anything that's attached to the variable, and remember, a variable is a letter, and then another constant. We want the constants to be together, and we want the variables to be together. So that's why I subtracted 12. So that leaves us with
16.
5.3.
16, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so then we're gonna divide both sides by
3.
3, and we lose the 3 under there. So n is gonna equal 5n 1/3. All right, what does that mean in the story? Well, in the story, is 5 cars going to be enough?
No.
No. Does it matter whether I put a closed circle or an open circle in this case?
No.
No, because how many cars do we have to have at a minimum?
6.
6 cars. So does it matter whether we say greater than or whether we say greater than or equal to? It doesn't
I was
matter.
thinking of,
So we agree with Kieran.
For me, I don't know why, but I was thinking of how much seats each kid would take up.
Well, what does n represent? Seats or cars?
Cars.
The number of cars. Got to go back to what does your variable represent? Okay? Anybody got a question about that? Because 5 cars ain't gonna work. We're gonna need 6.
Unless someone wants to walk.
Unless someone wants to walk. Okay. I guess we could do that. I won't be the one walking then.
I won't either.
You can walk, Chloe.
I'll be in a
Okay,
car
depends on
somewhere.
where we're going.
Okay. All right. Who needs more time? I sure don't have everybody on. I got 13 people on. Who's not responding? Makana didn't write anything down. Rebecca didn't write anything down.
Archie,
I was
shouldn't there
right
be more
back.
than one?
Okay.
name?
All right.
I'm writing in my notebook.
Here we go with number 2. In the cafeteria, there's one large 10-seat table and many smaller 4-seat tables. there are enough tables to fit 200 students. Write an inequality whose solution is the possible number of 4-seat tables in the cafeteria. Okay, what can we count or measure?
10-seat tables.
So there's one 10-seat table,
200 students.
200 students,
4-seat tables.
many 4-seat tables.
And X is.
What is X going to represent? What do we want to know?
Number of
The number
4
of
seats.
smaller tables.
Right, the number of smaller tables. Okay, we'll box that in. All right, so X is the number of small tables. So we have 10 people seated at the
Big table.
big table, plus how many people sit at the small table?
X.
Is X the number of people or is X the number of tables?
X is number of the table.
All right, so if I only have one table, how many people can sit? If I have 2 tables, how many people can sit?
8.
8. If I have 3 tables, how many people can sit?
12.
If I have X tables, how many people can sit?
Wait.
4x.
Whoops, 4X.
Wait, why 4? Oh, 4 seats.
Why
More
4?
people per chair.
There you go. All right, now we're going to fit 200 people. Do we want to go greater than or do we want to go less than?
Greater than?
There are enough tables to fit 200 people.
Greater than or equal to?
Okay? Why? Why are we going greater than?
Because we know there's enough for 200 people.
There'll be enough for 200, and that's the minimum amount, right?
Mhm.
Okay? So there's your equation. That's all they want is the inequality. Okay, questions about what each of those numbers mean? Do you see how we decoded the problem and came up with that equation
Yeah.
or inequality? Okay?
Claire, I actually have a question.
Yeah.
I know it says to write an inequality, but let's say it didn't say that. Do we have to put like the greater than, less than, or equal to, stuff like that, or could we put an equal sign?
You could put an equal sign, and then you have to remember when you answer the question, you would say you would need at least this many tables.
Okay. 'Cause I was
Okay?
like- I
Does
was
that
like-
make sense?
Yeah, I was confused on that.
Just for test taking purposes, they will probably give you 4 different inequalities and make you choose one of them. Okay?
Okay.
All right, now we're gonna go on to the next one. This is part B. We have 5 barrels catch rainwater in the schoolyard. 4 barrels are the same size, and the 5th barrel holds 10 liters of water. Combined, the 5 barrels can hold at least 200 liters of water. Write the inequality for this. Okay, so we have 4 barrels that are the same size, 1 barrel that holds 10 liters, and we have at least 200 liters of water. Okay, what is X going to represent?
The possible size of each.
Uh-huh, so that's the size or how many liters of the small barrels will hold. Okay, so we know we've got 10. Then we know we have how many barrels of small barrels? 4 of them. Do we know how much they hold?
No.
That's going to be your X. Okay, now we want at least 200 liters of water. Would 100 liters of water be okay?
No.
No.
So what do we want to put? Are we gonna put greater than or equal to, or less than or equal to?
Greater than.
Greater than or equal to. Okay? Is that the same equation we just wrote for the previous problem?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, the previous problem was about
Seats.
not
Table.
tables.
Tables.
Okay, this one is about liters of water. The equations or the inequalities are the same. What's going to be different about them?
They're,
Think about their solutions.
Well,
Unit?
for the tables, there can only be whole numbers of tables.
yeah.
Oh, with water, there can be decimals.
Oh, there you go. Awesome job. So the next slide is type in what's similar. So what was similar? We had the same equation, right? Okay. What's going to be different? Jahan, say it again.
The tables have to be whole numbers, while the water could be decimals.
Yep. We can't have part of
What
it.
did you say?
He said the tables have to be whole numbers, whereas the water can be decimals.
That'd be funny though, there was just half a table.
Half a table, yeah. So this is an example of the real world making a difference in what the solutions would be. Goes back to that half a person and 1/4 of a person or a quarter of a
I
shirt.
mean, unless he sat here and like dismembered a person, but that's just cruel.
All right. Who needs more time to type?
Me.
Okay. Even with those nifty new things, you can't type any faster than that.
Well, I couldn't
No.
think. Okay, I'm done.
I haven't used any for a while.
Good job. All right, you ready to go to the next slide?
Yes.
All right. Solve that equation. Do you see subtraction?
Yeah.
Okay, use the additive inverse to add the opposite. Do you see parentheses?
Yes.
Your two choices are divide or distribute. You decide what you want to do. Good. So I'm seeing this. I'm just copying down what I'm seeing. Josiah, I need to see the work of how you got that answer, okay, sweetie?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thanks. That way I know what you're thinking. Okay, I see a lot of people dividing by 5, so I'll go ahead and do that. Good. John, go up and look and see what you did in your last step. You have n plus -4 equals -12. So what are you doing to both sides? You're adding 4, right?
Yeah, I did.
Okay, what is -12 plus 4? -12, so we're gonna go 12 that way, and then we're gonna come back this way 4. So where are we gonna end up at?
-8.
-8.
That's okay.
Okay. Oh, there it is up at the top, okay. I gotcha. Good, so n equals -8. What questions do you have for me? Okay, I'll give you a minute to get caught up. If you think about the steps or the flow chart, it's gonna help you, all right? Because that follows the sequence. Yes, ma'am? Yeah. All right, looks like everybody's done writing. Let's go to the next one.
How many problems are there?
There's 5 of these. 5 of part 3 of question 3. All right, solve that equation, go.
There's 5 of part 3.
Yeah, there's A, B, C, D, and E.
Oh,
Well, how many questions is there?
There's
altogether?
5 total.
Is that T or C for the variable?
T as in Tom. Okay, any subtraction?
no.
Any parentheses?
No.
So then your next step is to get the variables on one side, the variable term on one side, and the constant terms on the other side. Good, 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 good. Come on, Kylia. Are you doing it on paper? Okay.
Oh, I just got it, but I forgot it. Bro.
All right.
Okay, I think I got it.
Okay. So what do you think?
-11?
Oh,
That's what
well,
I
I saw somebody do this. What do you think about that?
They subtracted A. Shouldn't they have added A because it's negative?
Okay, so this should be +8, which would make this
33.
33?
Yeah.
Okay,
And then
so that changes the answer to,
And then they also divided by 3 when they
It's
should
supposed to
divide
be
by
negative 3.
okay, good. You caught that they divided by +3 when they should have been -3. Okay, T equals -11 is correct. If you plug it in and look at it, you will get 25. All right, good job. Okay, who needs more time? All right, let's go to the next one. 7p minus 8 equals -22, go. Good. Good. Excellent. Jeremiah, I see you're having fun playing with colors. How about we do some math, okay?
Does that say divided by 2?
Yeah, that's a 2. Whoops, should be a,
7.
thank you. I got the answer. I was thinking 2 in my head. All right. Ooh, Simone, how'd you get -4, sweetie? All right, Simone, you got 7p minus 8 equals -22. We're going to change that into a addition problem by doing 7p plus -8 equals -22. Okay, now, do you see any parentheses? Okay.
No.
All right, now we want the p term on the left-hand side, so the -8 needs to go away. So we're going to put +8 on that side, There you go, +8 there. If you do the good, so that leaves you 7p equals -14. Yep. And then you're going to divide both sides by what's attached to the p, the 7. Nope, you're going to divide both sides by 7. What's attached to the p, Simone?
7.
7. So you're going to divide by 7 so that you get 1p. So then over to the side you can do p equals -2. There you go. Haley, are you okay? Just a little slow? Did it on paper or what? Can I go on, Haley, or do you need more time to write it down? Is that you, Haley, or the other Haley? I got 2 Haleys in here. You're done? Okay. Haley Gadsden, do you need more time? All right, didn't get an answer. 2/5 times the quantity of j plus 40 equals -4. Okay, how are you going to get rid of that the parentheses? You got 2 options. Good, I'm seeing some distributing. I see somebody divided both sides by 2/5. That's awesome. That will work as well. You can go either way. And you may use a calculator if you don't remember how to divide fractions. But dividing a fraction is the same thing as multiplying by its reciprocal. So it ends up canceling really nice. Man, Rachel, you're gonna squeeze that in that little spot, aren't you?
That's what I'm trying to do.
Simone, do you know how to make it skinnier so you got a little bit more space? Or do you want me to?
Yes.
You know how to? Okay, you just like it fat? Okay. Alright, so I see 2/5 j plus 16 equals -4.
16?
Subtracting 2/5 times 40. Yeah, it's 16.
2/5 times 40. I mean, yeah, 2/5
2/5 times 40 is 16. Good, Haley, it looks good. Now divide both sides, uh-huh. All right, you should get J equals, where am I got anybody done? Ooh. Got some off the wall answers here. There we go, I finally got somebody got it right. J equals -50.
Yes.
Yay.
Yeah, there we go, I see other
Right.
ones. J equals -50. Do you want me to do that one so you can see it?
Sure.
Okay. Alright, so we have 2/5. I'll do it distributive first. So 2/5 J plus 16 equals -4. Then I'm gonna subtract 16 from both sides. So I get 2/5 J equals -20. Divide both sides by 2/5. So that gives me J equals -50. Okay, that's one way. Questions on that way?
Oh, so that's what you said, 16, because it was distributed.
Distributive, huh? Okay, if you do it the other way, let's see if I can fit it over here. If I divide both sides by 2/5, that gives me J plus 40 equals
-10. I believe.
-10?
Yes.
Yes.
So I got it.
Okay, then we subtract 40 from both sides, and you get J equals -50. Oh, and that takes less steps. So that's the same problem done two different ways. Questions? All right.
Miss Blair,
Yes.
Makana Moore is checking out.
All right, I'll send her down.
All right, thank you so much.
You're welcome. All right, part E. This one should be a piece of cake. 4 times the quantity W plus 1 equals -6. Are we going to divide on this one? To get rid of the parentheses. Are you going to divide?
No, because it's not, because it doesn't go into one.
It doesn't go into it evenly, so distribute away, go. Liam, you know what you're doing? Or have you lost? Okay, let me see you do something so I can help you if you're lost. Because that's what I want to do is help. Alright, I don't know which Haley it is. What is 4 times 1, Haley? There you go, you're erasing, so I don't know which Haley it is. No, you've got a 5 in there. That should be plus 4. 4W plus 4 equals 4. There you go, erase that one, uh-huh. You added them instead of multiplied them. Good, Chloe.
So I was able to divide it.
Well, you end up with a fraction. If fractions don't bother you, that's fine.
I did it with decimals, and it's
Oh.
easier.
Okay. Okay, you should get -2.5. So I'll go through it real quick. I've seen quite a few of these. So I'm gonna distribute, so I get 4W plus 4 equals -6. Subtract 4 from both sides. 4W equals -10. Divide both sides by 4. W equals, you can leave it as -5/2, or you can change it to -2.5, either one works. Okay? What questions do you have that I can help you with? All right, who needs more time? Yes? Coop, are you good, or you need more time? Okay. Let me know when you're done. Okay. Select all of the inequalities that have the same graph as x is less than 4. So let's think about what that's going to look like. So here's 4. Open circle or closed?
Open.
Open. To the left or to the right?
Left.
Okay. Circle the ones that are going to be that. Same graph. Interesting. Things that make you go,
They're super fun.
Mm-hmm. Oh, look at all those. Yeah. Interesting. All right. Of those that chose A, who wants to prove A is true to me? A bunch of you said A. Why is A true? Thank you. Well, I'm going to draw it. Is that the same graph?
Yes,
How is that the same graph?
because it's still an open circle. And
Well,
still go to the left.
This one is less than 2. This one is less than 4. Is 3 work for this? Does 3 work for this?
No.
Are they the same?
No.
No, A does not work. All right, those of you that chose B, who'd like to prove that B works? Max,
Okay, never mind.
I'll let you do the next one. Okay, if I subtract 6 from 10, you get 4, so x is going to equal 4, so therefore it's going to be less than 4. Good. Okay, Rebecca, why did you choose C works?
Because 4 times 5 would equal 20, and it has to be less than 20, so the number would have to be less than 4.
Good. Okay, you chose D. Did anybody choose D? Jahan, why'd you choose D?
Oh, because if you take 2 away from 3, it'd be less than 2. That's the problem.
Let's solve that.
Wait, no, it's greater than sign, so I would take that back.
You take that back, yep,
Because it's greater.
because it ends up being x is greater than 4.
Where'd you get the 3 from?
Yeah, where'd you get the 3 from?
Because it's less than.
Oh, you just picked a number and plugged it in.
Yes.
Okay, all right. How about E? Let's see, Haley, why do you think E works? I don't know which Haley it is. Well, what would this look like? That would be 8 with an open circle going that way. Is that the same thing as
No,
less than
because-
4?
Because what if x was 6? Then that's not going to work.
That's right. Max, you wanna add on to that?
I was just saying it's basically A.
Yep, it's kinda like A is, okay? Alright. Next
So
one.
B doesn't work?
E does not work. The only two that work are B and C.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Alright, this is the last problem. A 200-pound person weighs 33 pounds on the moon. How much did the person's weight decrease?
Oh,
What are you gonna do?
percent of change.
This is percent of change, so the first step is to
Find the difference.
find the difference. So you're gonna do 200 minus 33. So it changed by 167.
Yep.
Okay.
And then divide it by the original.
Which is going to be the original? The person on Earth or the person on Moon?
The person on Earth.
On Earth. We're comparing it to the Earth. Okay? So do you get 0.835?
Yes.
And then what does that change to? As a percent?
83.5%.
Yep. So why do I weigh a lot less on, why do I weigh 83.5% less on the moon?
Because of the gravitational pull.
Because there's no or very little gravitational pull. All right, guess what? That's the last
Gas
one.
giants, you have more gravitational pull.
All right, so next steps. Upload a picture of your practice problems and submit it. You have Khan Academy, you need to submit a picture, a screenshot of that. You have a check-in to do with a reflection. Sometime do CPA 12. This looks like a lot of stuff. You've got next week to get it done as well. Work on Imagine Math, lesson 18 slides and activities. I will see you on Tuesday. Enjoy your long weekend.
We have next week to do it too.
You got Monday off.
Oh,
Bye.
So Miss Blair, when is like
Adios.
all of the stuff? Not missing. I'm talking about the stuff that we're doing this week. Like, is that just
That goes on next 9 weeks.
the next? Oh.
Okay, that's why the due date is the next Tuesday,
Oh, okay.
May I go to the restroom?
as soon as Jahan gets back, okay?
Bye, Miss Larry. Have a good
Bye,
weekend.
you too.
Yeah.
So,
Yes, sweetie.
can you go back really quickly? I'm sorry.
Yeah. Did I go too fast on you? That one?
Yeah.
Okay, do you understand it?
Yeah.
Okay, we found the difference first, and then we divided it by how much he weighed on Earth, because we're comparing it to his Earth weight.
All right, thanks.
You're welcome. You have a great weekend.
You too.
Okay,
Bye, Miss Larry.
bye.
Peace.
Peace out. The last day of inequalities.
What?
It's the last lesson on inequalities.
That's cool.
Tuesday we have combining like terms. Like terms. So we've been talking about terms. Let me end this. We've been talking about terms. And terms are like constants, variable terms. Now you can have more than one variable term in an expression. So you could have like 3x plus 7y plus 2 plus 5 plus negative 10y. And what we're going to do is we're going to combine the like terms together to simplify.
Seems complicated.
It's not, it's actually very logical.
It is.
Mm-hmm. And Open Up does a very good job of explaining why it is what it is. It's a very visual thing. Alright, hopefully you get your email. Yesterday's took a little while, but I did eventually get it.
Cool.
Oops, so I can turn that off.